In this exercise, we're going to build our own calendar, a personalized calendar. So using Microsoft Word, the first step is to go to Page Layout, Orientation, and Landscape. So we're putting our page on its side. I would then zoom out. I found that 80%, somewhere around 80% is pretty good. Turn your ruler on as well. I want to see where my margins are, and I want my table to be confined to the borders of my margins pretty much. Okay, so now I would then go to Insert and then Table, and I found that a 7 by 7 does a good job. So I'm going 7 by 7. So there's my table. Not nearly big enough, of course. So I'm going to use the sizing node down here, and I'm not going to go sideways, but I'm going to come down to as close to the margin as I can. But I want to leave enough space for one empty paragraph. Now I probably have a little too much space down there, so I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. And now if I click down here and I turn my show hide on, I see that I have room for one more paragraph. That's the perfect size right there. The next step should be to merge these cells into one cell. So I've selected all of those cells, and then on one of my table tabs or table toolbars, I can find merge cells. And this is where I'm going to put the names of the months. No need to do that now. I don't recommend you do that now. The next step would be to put the days of the week here, starting with Sunday. I'm using my tab key to move from cell to cell. And then you'll probably want to center those. And you might even want to change the font to whatever you'd want. Just be careful when you're growing your font. Wednesday is the biggest, and if your column ends up going wider, you'll have to undo because you don't want Wednesday to be wider than any other day. And then before you do anything else, I would now copy this table to other pages so that you have 12 sheets. So this is the perfect time to copy and paste. Any earlier, you'd have to retype this, and any later, you'd have to delete things. So I would select the table here and copy, and then make sure that you remember to move your insertion point. Okay, so I've just clicked here, and now I'm ready to paste 11 times. Okay, so I've just pasted 11 times. It's telling me down here that I have 12 pages, and if you scroll up, you'll see that you indeed have 12 pages. This would be a really good time to save. We're not done, but you have to save as you're working, right? So now, depending on the year you're doing, you would start typing your days. And again, I would put my left key on the tab, my left hand, sorry, on the tab key, and my right hand on the number keypad on the right hand side. So I'm just going 1, 2, and I'm hitting my tab to go from cell to cell. Now, every once in a while, this is going to happen. You're going to run out of cells, okay? Do not hit tab to create a new row at the bottom. What we want to do, and again, it might happen 2 times a year. So instead, I've found the best way to fix this is to simply use your draw tool and then just put a little line right here diagonally. Turn that off, and now simply hit enter a couple times. Now, as you'll notice, my row got a little bit deeper, so I just need to change my line spacing a little bit in there to take up less room. And then what you can do is you can write a line and then put the 31 there. And if you turn your show hide off, you'll see that that looks pretty good. So you would continue typing the days all the way through for your entire year, add birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of stuff. Now to the fun part. Now you'll pick a theme, right? You can pick any theme for your calendar. So you go to any search engine, and type whatever it is you're looking for. So I just happen to type beaches here. Do not use these pictures because these are simply thumbnails. This will not look good. When you try and stretch this, it's going to be very pixelated or blurry. So find the actual picture. Now I've sorted by size, so I wanted the results to be show me the biggest pictures first, and that's what it's done because you want a nice big picture so that when you put it on your calendar, it's not going to be pixelated. It'll look nice. So now you can copy this image, and then when you paste it into Word, there's a really good chance that it's going to upset your table. So my table is an absolute mess, and it upset all the other pages. This is temporary. There's no need to panic. Simply click on your picture, and now go to the Format toolbar for pictures. Go to Wrap Text, and initially I usually bring it to the front. And now that it's in the front, I can position it, and the next thing I want to do is size it. Don't size from the sides because you're going to distort your picture, the sides or the bottom. Try to pick pictures that are rectangular in nature to begin with, and that way when you do size them, you'll have to crop something, right? So if I crop a little bit of the ocean here, it's not a big deal, right? And even if you need to crop body parts, etc., at least you're not distorting the picture. So I'm going to hit crop here, and I'm going to crop this out, and then back out a little bit. And now that it's pretty much the right size, I would now take this image and bring it to the back. So I'd come here and say send behind text. And now I've got the first image from my calendar. And I would just keep adding images to my calendar, and there you have your personalized calendar. Some of your pictures may be a little bit too dark. In order to select my picture again, you need to come right to the right of a grid line here. Okay, see how the 4 arrows show up? They only show up when you're at the right-hand side of a grid line. You can click on your picture, and then if you want, you can adjust your brightness. Okay, so if your picture is too dark, you can do that. Or you can select your table outline and your numbers, and you can make them white. So that is basically how you create a calendar using Microsoft Word